Hello and welcome to my final online course presentation. My name is Caitlin Klug and I completed my course on two fourth grade science standards focusing on the solar system. Here are all of the course learning objectives. There are 2 to 4 objectives for each lesson. Without naming all of them, some covered in this unit are to be able to classify planets in our solar system, compare and contrast stars and planets, describe how space technology has changed over time, and develop a model to show how we have day and night. I use the TPACK framework by turning my original lessons into Nearpod lessons. Each lesson has videos, polls, open-ended discussions, quizzes, games, and more to promote higher engagement and use of technology. There's either a flip video discussion or Google Classroom discussion for each lesson. Collaboration is promoted in multiple ways throughout the course, and all technology chosen for these modules is familiar to students. With that being said, let's take a look at the course. The course will be accessed through students' Google Classrooms. Here are all the assignments and lessons within the class. For Module 1, students will complete a digital citizenship Nearpod lesson. This lesson is on keeping games fun and friendly and being able to interact online in a positive way. It includes videos, a collaboration board, polls, and also a quiz. And then the pre-taught vocabulary is on one of the first slides, and there's one of the quizzes. For Module 2, students will be learning about the planets in our solar system. The lesson objectives are to describe the characteristics of a planet, compare and contrast inner and outer planets, classify the planets, and determine their order from the sun. Each lesson in the course, students are asked a question to gauge their prior knowledge on the subject. And the question for this lesson is, what do you know about our solar system and planets already? And then for each lesson as well, I have pre-taught the vocabulary and we go over it before they learn anything from the module. I've included a photo lineup next that shows the planet's order and size. And then the next 2 slides show key information about the inner and outer planets and a video providing more information. Then I explain that students will fill in notes from a slideshow. Students will then be able to play this drag and drop game with the planets. They'll put them in order. And then we have a time to climb game. This is like a quiz game. And then lastly, students will complete the planet project where they create a digital poster of one of the planets they learned about. There's a video of my voice describing the project and what students are required to do. And then going back to Google Classroom, students will participate in a discussion post where they are asked to summarize what they have learned about planets in a paragraph, and I'll put that here. For Module 3, students will complete a Nearpod lesson on stars, and here are the lesson objectives for that. They describe the characteristics of a star, including our sun, compare and contrast stars and planets, describe how some stars appear larger and brighter than others. We have our question to gauge what they already know. What do you know already about stars and the sun? We have our pre-taught vocabulary. Students are then given key information on stars and the sun with a video for each of those. Students will then participate in another time to climb game. Here it is. And then after they have completed the whole Nearpod lesson, they will record a video on Flip to tell me what they have learned about stars and the question that they still have. And so after they finish both modules 2 and 3, students will then take a quiz on stars and planets, posted there in Google Classroom. Module 4 is a choice board for the solar system. Students will complete this choice board to demonstrate their further learning as well as provide creativity and choice. Activities include creating a booklet, creating a comic strip, write a letter or email to an astronaut, and more. Students can begin working on this before Module 2 and 3 are fully completed, just so they get a jump on the assignments. And this was my first UDL learning assignment. I wanted to share some of my references I found for choice boards and using UDL guidelines. Carol says UDL is all about removing barriers, as mentioned. One way to do this is by providing a range of options when presenting content or asking students to demonstrate their knowledge. By using a choice board, I'm giving students a wide variety of options for completing the assignment and for responding to what they have learned so far about the solar system. I believe choice boards can increase student engagement in the classroom or at home through online learning. I also have another reference from Malinowski saying, in reference to allowing voice and choice in the classroom, when they said engagement in the classroom is necessary for students to meet educational goals. To engage in learning, students need intrinsic motivation to encourage them to strive to meet their potential. And one of the 2 rubrics I created will be used to grade this choice board, and the link is provided for students, and here is that rubric. Right, for Module 5, students will learn about the Hubble Space Telescope and about the James Webb Telescope. Very briefly, here are the lesson objectives on this slide here. Can describe how space technology has changed over time, can describe what the Hubble Space Telescope has changed. We have our pre-taught vocabulary. Students will then participate in a poll. Then they will watch a video on space telescopes that includes information about the James Webb Telescope, which is newer than the Hubble. Then they will watch a video on the Hubble Space Telescope. Then on the next slide, they have a choice between reading a book on EPIC or about Hubble or watching another video. Students will then participate in a quiz with 3 questions after they've completed the Nearpod lesson. They will then also, that's the EPIC book. Apologies. Here's that quiz. And then, like I was just saying, they will go back to their Google Classroom and complete a discussion on the telescope. They'll research more information about the James Webb Telescope and compare the James Webb to the Hubble Space Telescope. For Module 6, students will learn about day and night. We have our lesson objectives here. We have the questions to get students interested in this lesson. How long do you think it takes for Earth to rotate on its axis one time? Then we have our pre-taught vocabulary. Students will then be able to watch a video on Earth's rotation and complete notes over day and night as well. There's a short video of my voice explaining the note-taking. There, then the slideshow. Finally, students will watch a video from Generation Genius and create a model of the Earth rotating on its axis and demonstrating day and night. Students will record a video on Flip showing their model and explaining it, and then they will complete a Google form on day and night in Google Classroom. So here is the Flip discussion. And then here's that day and night quiz on Google form that they will complete. And then lastly, in Module 7, students will present what they have learned about either planets, stars, telescopes, or day and night by filming a video or creating a PowerPoint presentation. The rubric to this presentation is attached in the Google Classroom, and here is that rubric they will use to follow the guidelines for that presentation. As far as accessibility and assistive technology goes, students will have their own Chromebook device that has video recording capabilities as well as the ability for information on their Chromebooks to be read aloud using a Google Chrome extension, and students can also zoom in to make text larger. Students will have several means of taking in information through audio, visual, and hands-on learning activities. For Myers' 12 Principles of Multimedia Learning, the coherence principle is used by only displaying keywords and images and not using extraneous language or images. Nothing extra is added that will distract. Also use the modality principle and used still images, making all the presentations short and where students can go back and watch any videos needed. Uses the segmenting principle. I also use the pre-training principle by pre-teaching the vocabulary. As for audio principles, I use the voice personalization and image principle. All narration is given in my voice and not a computer. I use conversational language and my image is not included on any of the presentations or videos. As I reflected on the creation of this online course, I believe that turning in-person lessons to online lessons has increased student engagement. linking videos, interactive slides, and not overloading the Nearpod lessons and slides with content was beneficial for students. Adding choices and a variety of discussion options also increased engagement and student motivation. This module also promotes collaboration and hands-on learning. Overall, creating this module throughout the course allowed me to see what more can be done for student engagement and to increase their motivation to learn. And then lastly, after reviewing my peers' evaluation, there were no improvements needed per their evaluation. I did feel the need to name a few of the lesson objectives instead of save them for the modules. I also included my reflection previously discussed on this final presentation. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this presentation in my online course.